Okay, now our next project here is this wood stove. This is at Aspen. Uh, it's seen better days, but it's not warped. It's not blown out at the side. Doesn't look like it's got any cracks in it. It looks like it's been sitting in a shed, and it's got mud on it. The legs look like they're sitting in mud. So this thing sat around a while. The only issue I think it's got with it is that there's some kind of damper control here in the bottom that doesn't go to anything. Inside, there's our clean out. We can just rake the ashes up to that, or I can just scoop them out. And then there's this type of vent that goes up to the top. I got to understand how that works. And that has to do with this. But there's a part missing on the bottom. The seal on the door looks pretty good. I don't know what you call it, the trim piece that holds the door, glass on, looks a little rough. The glass got some crud on it. I think ash and water will clean that right off. I think the ash out of the stove, so I'm not too worried about that. And it doesn't have to be cleaned for the garage. There's some surface rust here, so it's been sitting outside a while. I want to take the grinder, clean this up. I don't know what disc I'll use on it. I'll get a brush wheel, something. There's a little nick out of the top that's real sharp right there. I'll grind that off. The top's nice and flat. The flue looks pretty good. What I can see. This V channel down in there's got crud on. I want to vacuum. This cover on the back. There's where the blower hooks on. It apparently did have one at one point. The screws are still there. This top piece is bent out. Looks like they put like vice grips or something and bent it out, probably to allow more fan forced air to come up through. If you leave this bent forward, it'll blow the heat forward. They look like they want it blown upward. I'm not concerned with that at all. There is this second little hole here that goes in to a bee's nest. Hey, there's a bee. I want to vacuum this up and clean it. I was thinking about pressure washing it, but I don't want it wet because I want to paint it. The legs, they're like a quarter. They're not quite a quarter inch. Yeah, they're not a quarter inch. It's thinner steel, but they look in good shape. But there is this thing on the bottom I got to figure out what to do with, or just shut it right off and weld something over it. The cover's bent on the back. Surface rust on it. I want to sand that up and paint it. I got some Krylon high heat paint. I think it's 1200 degree stuff, whatever. I pushed on this pin and this pin comes out. So I want to take this door right off. I had the stove in last night. I was going to do it in the garage, but I just want to keep all the dust out here. But these pins, look at that, they come right out. And this way, here we go. And this way I know that I won't break the glass out here anyway, and I can clean this up anywhere. So I'll put this inside. And I'll get it's pretty heavy still, but that's pretty heavy. I'd say it's, yeah. I would say it's high 200s or 300 pounds. This is, I should measure, that's at least a quarter inch. Pretty heavy stuff. But I want to flip it down and see what that thing is on the bottom. I might use a tractor, set another pallet, and then tip it back. I think I'd rather tip it back than tip it forward, or maybe tip it sideways. Maybe sideways, because I could lift it right up with the tractor. I'll probably put this on time lapse, but the thing I wanted to do, like I said, is see what's going on with this first. I'm going to have a flue damper right up here. So I don't know if that's supposed to control it, and we don't need that, but I want a damper in the pipe. I want to physically be able to control it, not a guesswork. So let me get a pallet. I'll flip this out. I might put on time lapse and start cleaning this stove up. I think this is the best way, right upside down. Now, this must have been an ash pan that slid in here, but it's so shallow, why bother, right? I guess if it just held the top, probably. Yeah, maybe just held the top, and you could have a pan that's 4 inches deep. So your ash come out of here. Then there is some kind of catalyst in the top of the stove. Right there. So this must allow the air to come up into it. But there's some kind of missing part, and the guy didn't know anything about it, he said, so whatever. But these tabs come back. They're a little bit bent, and this piece is supposed to move. Might heat this up and see what this does. And then this slid back and forth. So apparently this probably hooks onto that. But I don't see enough. It looks like something else is missing here. I looked this stove model up online. I got no literature on it. I tried the serial number, the nameplate, the whole thing, and I believe the year is a 2000. And I think it said 2000, and 23 years old, they don't have any information. Now this plate, I got it to move back and forth, and it's got this cutout. You see this angle fits perfect right there. So there's probably two parts to this. This rod will move back and forth. The screw is in it. Looks pretty sad shape. But you see this angle lines up good, and then when you close it, it covers off, more than 7/8, probably 15/16 of that opening, but this opening's left open. And I think I'll get a flashlight because you can't quite see down in there. I just see cobwebs. It looks like I can take and put a new screw in if I have to, but this looks like it'll line up with it right there, and then you can still reach at the front, so I'm assuming it goes there. What I don't know is what these two tabs are. These look like something guides in from the back side and clicks. I don't think they're for the clean out ashtray, because there's a tab bent down either here, so it looks like it comes back and stops. So this is something to do with this. And what I'm wondering is, what if I'm to take this off? Hopefully I can get the bolt out. I didn't check to see that it's on the inside. If it is a problem, I could probably weld a stud on there. And I take and I make this panel and make it different so that I can choke it off or open it. See, this isn't designed to go any farther. This could be flipped over probably, right? Yeah, I could flip this over if it goes the other way, but probably not, because the weld is on top. You're going to want this down flat. So it probably goes in that way. What if I am to grind this portion off so that it's flush here, and I make this plate wide enough to cover the whole thing? Then I can open it whatever distance I want. Like this, I would imagine you pull that all the way out, allows air up into that combustion chamber. So I was hoping to find some literature and hopefully a schematic or a little part so I know if this is all here or not. It might be all it needs. I just don't know why this corner would be cut out. And if this comes over here, this is adjustable. So what's the reason for that to be adjustable? I don't know. If any of you know, make a comment down there in the bottom. And maybe somebody out there has this same model. This is, they say don't go by this brand. It's not really a brand. It's called a Warnock Hersey. But this is an Aspen. And it does have, you know, dimensions and stuff on it. But it does not have another manufacturer. It does say 2000, I think the year 2000 on it here somewhere. But Warnock Hersey, I guess. And they never made a wood stove. But what I want to do is I want to bend these panels back, get this looking a lot nicer, get the vacuum, clean this up, get out the air hose, blow this out. This panel here looks bent a little bit. And I want to just get this looking better so that it seems to function better. And it's not bent by much. But I'm thinking about making a whole plate that'll choke that off. That might be a good idea. The other thing I can do if I don't want it at all is I could weld over it. But if I do that, then no air is going to get up into that combustion. So I will, and I don't want to have it so I have to open the door to get any air in there. So I want to see if I can get this thing to function right. Okay, 2 quick coats of high heat Krylon. Not too bad. Bring this old girl back to life a little bit. The fan blower, it'd be nice if I had, I do have one. It goes on another stove. I might put it on here. Most of them are interchangeable. You just put one on and make sure there's a sensor to turn it on or off, or just you switch it on, you know. I'm going to vacuum out the inside and place the fire brick in there. I got to take the door and give that a quick paint. There's not much on there to paint. I'm on the same can still. This stuff goes on nice. I got a nice spray tip. This does work. So that's, you know, makes this catalyst work in here, I think. It gives air up to it. So I think I'm going to use this in conjunction with the damper in the pipe, and that way I can choke it off in case this thing just runs wild, whatever. But it's a reburn, so it burns, goes up into here, and then once it gets through there, it'll come out up here. It's not a direct shot in, because see, the old stoves used to go right straight down in, and so you get a little bit more heat out of it. It makes the stove burn a little bit longer. This stove is a 2001 February. I found that out. But it'd be nice if I had an owner's manual. I don't. I'm going to just clean up the door, paint that, and install that. But I might as well leave it off till I get the stove installed. and get the fire brick setting in there. That fire brick, once that gets warm, that's going to keep a fire a long time too. It keeps the stove insulated, keeps the sides from getting, you know, bulging out. And I just used Rust-Oleum Black, a can I had, for the legs because they'll never get hot. And the base down there, plus, you know, once the fire brick's in it. So that'll be fine down there. When I fire up the stove, it'll burn off. It'll stink the first time. That's all right. I'm excited about using this to put a pan of sap on too. And being in the garage, if it gets a little steamy, I just open the door, you know, and it's not in the house. And I can heat the garage and do sap at the same time. I don't have to be outside in the cold and the rain, the snow to do that. So I'm kind of excited. Multi-use stove. I'm gonna take this on in. I'll use the tractor forks and I'll lift it up and I'll set it in place. Okay, I got my door painted. That didn't take much. I've got my clean out for my ash pan. I'll put that in. I didn't clean the glass off. I'm gonna let that burn off on the first burn. Set my door up here. Got to remember if the pins go this way. Nope. This way. Put our pins in. See how this door operates. I didn't lube them or anything. I might put a little anti-seize on them. Might be easier said than done, right? Come on, door, cooperate. That. And then this handle, it was sticky. It's not bad now. Look at that. I got a fingerprint on it. We're going to burn off that door anyway. But I think I'm going to like this. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run the vacuum in there, make sure everything's all cleaned out. I'm going to look up in all them holes. They look good when it was upside down, but I want to make sure it's clean, the catalyst. This will burn off with ash. See how easy it wipes off now. They make a spray cleaner. I'm not too worried about it in the garage. The seal looks good. The pins work good. The door works good. I got to put my fire brick in there, move it on inside. I've got to complete the wall in there prior to putting this in. But thank you for watching. It's just a little video on, I don't know if you call this a wood stove restoration. I straighten out that back panel, looks a lot better. This is all set for a blower if I want to put it on. I do have one. 2 coats of high heat paint. It's starting to sprinkle out here, so I guess I'm going to move this on inside. So I'm excited, ready to get some heat in that garage. Thank you for watching. Follow along in the series to get a wood stove installed in the garage properly. Thank you.